everyone in Gonjaland. I don't know whether short or long, but just take your time and listen. I want to thank all of you for being with me, even when I'm away. Today, we are going to look at a story about how luck can shine. Once upon a time, the cock was living with the parents in a town where everybody was marrying and he didn't get a wife. So his parents were complaining, why is it that your colleagues are marrying, you look very nice and you don't have a wife? He said, anyway, I don't know. So in the process, one day he traveled to another community and he met another bird, because at early dawn he had to crow and he made the noise. So when the Senegalese cooker in Ngonja known as Luku, when he heard his noise, he said, a stranger has come to this town. So he went, and then found him and said, my friend, are you, what brings you here? He said, I just came to visit a friend. He said, but why were you making too much noise? And I said, that is how we are. And then the Senegalese cooker said, but I make noise more than you. In the night, didn't you hear me last night? And the cook said, in any case, everybody knows that I'm the one who makes more noise. So the argument ensued between them for a very long time. They couldn't handle it. They went to one old lady. And then when they told the old lady, they were like, and the old lady said, but why are you people making too much noise? This one said, I told him I can crow more in the night, and this one also. He said, okay. The old lady said, but I don't have any power to determine that. And they said, you have to. She said, if you want, you go to the cheese palace. So they left to the cheese palace, and she followed. And the chief said, what brings you? And the old lady said, you see, I was in my house when these two people came. They had their supporters following them. This one is a stranger. He is not here. But this one, he also came. He has been here. And he is the one who has been waking up using time. Now, this stranger has come and he says he is the best. So the chief said, anyway, whatever be the case, I've sworn an allegiance to support my person. And the person I support is the one that was there when they made me the chief. And so it is the Luku, or Senegalese cooker as you call it. That is the person that I support in this. And then the court said, no, chief, will you give us the opportunity to try each other and see which one will be best? He said, okay, that's okay. I think that it is fine. Your suggestion is good. So you can start. So then the cook said, but it's still daytime. So it's almost getting to night. Why don't we do it in the night? And the chief said, it's true. You can do in the night. So how are you going to do? Say, okay. And the old lady said, now I want to promise them, anyone who is able to cry in the night to the next day in the morning, I have a very beautiful daughter, I'll give her to the person. So each of them was happy. And just at 6 o'clock, the cooker started. Nju junga ju, nju junga junga ju, nju junga junga mesani nyeche junga junga ju, nju junga junga. Oh, they all clap. Yeah, it's very true. This man, he can really make it. He's our champion, we already said. So and then the court didn't say anything. He waited somewhere just some few seconds to 12 in the night. He started. Koko kuliyako bundareko, unko bundare fia kania na bundareko, unko bundare mesa ninye iche bundareko, unko bundare. Those who were asleep all woke up. But it didn't go that enough. And then the bird also came. Nju junga junga ju, Nju junga junga mesa ninye che junga junga ju. Nju junga junga. So people were now awake. Meanwhile, the chief had appointed the bat and the rat. Bat and rat to take care, monitor, and the following day report to them who did best. But everybody, when they heard the two songs, they could not sleep again. They were melodious enough and very catchy. So around 3 o'clock, he came. Nju junga junga ju. Nju junga junga mesa ninye che junga junga ju. Nju junga junga. Then the cock came. Koko kulia ko bundari ko. Unko bundari mesa ninye che bundari ko. Unko bundari. Then somewhere within that period, the cock realized that he has to use his wings by using his might. That was then that the cock decided to include his wings. When he has to, then you are pop, 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 so that his sound goes while he makes the wing sound. When he makes the noise, then the noise echoes and goes further. So when he did that, everybody heard him. And by 4 o'clock, he came again, he did that. The sound had gone further. And within the period, because Senegalese cooker was not used to doing it continuously, and then also trying to impress others by making it heavily, he felt heavy and felt asleep. And at 4 o'clock, was a cock. Then at 5 o'clock again. And then at 6 o'clock, when they had all woken at the 5 to hear that, then when the cock sang again, then he also came. Nju junga junga ju. Nju junga junga mesa ninye eche junga junga ju. Nju junga junga. They had already gathered. Some were already gathering at the chief's palace to see who will win when, the final one came. And when they went, everybody, although those within wanted to do a way to skew it in favor of the Senegalese cooker, the other people who had listened throughout, everybody said it is the cock that has won. So they asked the old lady, where is the woman? And the old lady said, the woman is not readily available. But, so they said, okay, in order not to create any problem for you, cock, anytime you find the woman anywhere, you can use her. And that's how come that, people could even be seated and you see a cock running after a descent and, whether it's before, under a table or anywhere that he can do. And that is how the whole thing ended. Thank you very much. What do we learn from this story? What do we really learn from this story? I think that if we carefully observe, we will see that in life, when you are going into a competition, be careful of what your competitors or your competitors, bring on board. It was a cock that suggested that they take it far into the night. And quickly, the Loko or Senegalese cooker agreed. He never knew that the cock knows when he usually crows and when he has his stamina. He just agreed to it. And what happened? He lost the competition. That's one. I could have ended here, but for another to add up. Another thing is that take note of the times that is allotted to you or the things that are allotted to you in a competition. Be very careful not to do when you are supposed not to do, and not to do when, and to do when you are supposed to do. He started at 6 o'clock. They said in the night. At 6, it wasn't well defined whether that was a 9. They said later in the night. And then he decided to start at 6. And this is where he lost his stamina and went off. Also, I want to say that stamina is equally very important in a competition. Anytime you want to go into a competition, you need to take note. While you are working forward, you work backwards to cover yourself, and then so that you can continuously go until you end, whatever you are doing. And then also the size. Sometimes size, you know, the fowl decided to employ other means by adding his wings. Of course, if that bird had even added the wings, how will the wings sound? Very feeble. And that will not make any impact in whatever he was going to do. But he could have also used it to see whether it was going to help in any way. And then also, your luck will shine anywhere that you find yourself. Not necessarily where you plan it, but it can just happen. Because the cock had gone around looking for a woman he didn't get. Now he has gone to visit a friend, and fortunately for him, a competition or an argument ensued between he and another person who felt jealous about him, and that finally landed him to being able to have multiple wives than even one, as his colleagues will have. Thank you very much. We will meet another time again. Please remember to share. Please remember to like, and remember to share, and also comment. Thank you once again. Goodbye.